All right, so let's start this broadcast with this question. Is extreme weather the new normal? Day after day, country after country, the world is witnessing soaring temperatures. While rainfall is breaking records, there are other areas in the world where there are forest fires that seem to be almost never ending. The spotlight, however, at this moment is on the world's oceans, which have hit their hottest ever recorded temperature. According to the European Union's Climate Change Service, the average global sea surface temperature has now beaten the record that was set back in 2016 this week. The temperature level has hit 20.96 degrees Celsius, far above the average for this time of the year. And it is the calendar that is crucial here. Climate change is affecting the global rhythm of weather patterns, and experts say that oceans globally are the warmest in the month of March and not in the month of August. But what does time mean for you and me? The oceans play a significant role in regulating climate, serving as carbon sinks. They absorb carbon dioxide. They soak up the heat and they produce half of the Earth's oxygen and drive the weather patterns. Now, hotter oceans and heat waves upset the marine food chain. Corals also bear the brunt. Many suffer from bleaching while some even die. Overall, this means a reduced capacity for oceans to absorb carbon emissions and thus more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now, the increasing amount of heat absorbed due to the growing carbon emissions is to be blamed. Moreover, the rise in the ocean temperatures has come after a series of marine heat waves, and global warming goes well beyond the geographical boundaries. Climate change needs no visa or no passport. Marine heat waves have been witnessed in the United Kingdom, the North Atlantic, the Mediterranean and also the Gulf of Mexico. The duration, intensity and the frequency of marine heat waves is on the rise, and their frequency has also doubled between 1982 till 2016. Now, experts believe that oceans could also be warming up due to the heat that is stored in the ocean depths coming up to the surface. All right, now to give us more insights in terms of why this is happening, we're being joined in by Ms. Sherry Goodman, who is the Secretary General of International Military Council for Climate and Security and is also the Senior Strategist for Center for Climate Security. She's joining us on this broadcast. Now, Ms. Goodman, this is something for people who are watching the way climate patterns are changing, is something that is definitely not good news. The ocean surface temperature has now set a new record. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, thank you for that introduction. Yes, it's deeply, deeply troubling now that climate extremes are the new normal. We just have too much carbon in the atmosphere from too many decades of burning fossil fuels. And now climate change has become as we say, a threat multiplier. And it's creating multiple feedback loops. The oceans, so 70% of the planet is ocean. 70% of humans are water. The oceans are the lungs of the planet. Sometimes we've thought of the rainforest as the lungs of the planet, but it's the oceans that are absorbing all the extra carbon. And now we're literally boiling the oceans. The water off the coast of Florida and the Gulf of Mexico now is as hot as a hot tub. And so we've got changing ocean circulation patterns. We've got increasing ocean acidification. We've got potentially warming of the deep oceans, which is affecting the extreme heat waves that we see now. And we've got extreme heat also in both of the poles, with rapid melting of the sea ice in both of the poles occurring, of course, at different times of the year, but potentially affecting this global heat wave, compounded potentially by the El Nino cycle, which we are now entering. But there's no doubt that humans are at the center of this devastating change that we are now experiencing with coral reefs bleaching and dying in many parts of the planet, just changing the very way of life as we know it, fish stocks migrating and changing as they move towards colder waters.
Absolutely, Dita. It is difficult to predict as to the ramifications something like this is likely to have. But Ms. Goodman, the question that I want to ask you is, with the world's oceans getting more heated up, does this now mean that the process of global warming will get more accelerated from here on?
Well, what we've witnessed in the last decade or two is an acceleration of climate risk. From an era in 10, 15 years ago where we were talking about predicted climate change to an era now where we are living with the heat waves, the wildfires, the sea level rise, these stronger storms on a regular basis. So the evidence is that this is going to continue to accelerate. And what we need to do now is is do our very best to stay as close to that 1.5 degree temperature reduction as is possible. We probably likely have already exceeded it, but we need to really do everything that we can to reduce the continued carbon loading of the oceans as well as the atmosphere. The oceans are really telling us that they have a fever. They're sick.
Right.
And so our planet is sick. We need to take better care of it.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Sherry Goodman, for joining us and putting it all in perspective for us there.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you.